got me a speaker I need to recone here. I'm gonna just do a short video on reconing speakers and kind of how I do it, and a little bit of maybe some confidence building for those of you that are afraid to do it or whatever. But anyways, so I kind of got everything I need here together, so I'll show you guys what we're gonna use. And I'm not gonna get fancy or anything. We're just right here in the little trailer here. I'm reconing, so here's kind of what we got going on. So we got some clips, these bigger clips here. We'll use to clamp down the spider on the spider landing. Got a bucket of them smaller clips, and we'll use that on the surround of the drop in. I got some zip ties here, a flathead screwdriver, some matte gas or a torch, some tape, and then in here is what I like to use for my shims. So I've got a bunch of printer paper. It's my shim keeper. Anyway, so got us a speaker here, I think a ZV5. We're gonna throw a drop in on it. So I guess see if I can't get this camera in a good spot here and kind of show you how we're gonna get started. So alright, so to start off, this one's got push terminals on it, so I don't know how good you guys can see that, but anyways, they're right here. I've already taken a couple of them loose, but anyways, we got a Allen key here. These tighten down the speaker leads with the Allen key, and we're just going to take this loose until we can turn that with our finger. And that's that one. And these other ones, like I said, I already kind of busted them loose just to help speed things up a little. So spin it around. Same thing over here. And on these push terminals, I think it's a 7 here. Get this little nut backed off right here. And really, you don't have to take these all the way off, but the way I'm going to clean this and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way off because it's got some plastic on it and things, and I'm going to use heat to pull this cone out of here. So just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and take these push button terminals all the way off. So again, comes off like that. The 7mm holds it to the basket. If I can hold my neck right there. And then you've got these little Allen key guys that will hold your speaker leads down when you put the drop in back in there. And so for now, we'll just set these off to the side, spin it, and do the same thing over here. And we're just going to set these off to the side. So now that we've got the plastic out of the way, we're going to take this cone out of here, And I know maybe you guys see me do this before, maybe you haven't. Again, I know I've done this on Facebook Live a couple times. But anyway, so watch paint dry for a minute. We're just going to heat this up. And this is a thicker basket, so it'll take a little bit longer to get it heat soaked. But we're just going to heat this up until the glue releases. And this is the quickest way to get speaker baskets, recones tore down, in my opinion. I don't know, I did it a long time with a razor blade and a flat disc. And I learned this little trick and it changed my life. So this is one of the best ways, I think, to clean the speaker basket as quick as possible without making as much dust and fumes and things like that hurt your eyes. But I'm just spinning this around here, heating up the lip of this basket and trying to heat soak it. And then what'll happen is once the glue gets hot enough, it'll release. And I told you I had a flathead screwdriver earlier, so since this is hot, this is why I have the screwdriver. And I'm just going to use this screwdriver to start testing if it's coming loose yet. And you can see there, we've already got it kind of popping loose. So what we're going to do is just take the screwdriver and start going around the lip. Just like so. Surround is loose, and we'll go down here to the spider landing and just kind of repeat our process. And this basket is going to get hot, so, but basically we're just going to keep heating this up until the spider releases, just like the top side did there. We'll just heat this guy up here. Here in a few minutes, we'll take our flathead screwdriver because it's hot and see how close we are. But I just kind of like to go around and warm them all up. And again, on these thicker baskets, it does take a little bit longer, but still the best way to do it, in my opinion. Coming loose with the spider landing. Again, using our flathead screwdriver here. Just go around, pry it up. And bam, now you're done with that. We're going to want the basket to cool off a little bit, but I'm going to bring it over here to me and just look down in the gap and see if I see any dirt in there, which there's a couple pieces. And so I showed you earlier I have my handy dandy zip tie here, so we're going to take some of this white Gorilla tape and just take a little piece and go like so. Kind of just spin it around there backwards like around the zip tie. And then we'll take this guy and stick it down in here, and this will help us pick up any of the dust or anything inside that gap there. You can see we picked up, and the zip tie just helps. It's not metal and you can actually use it to get way down in there, but thankfully it looks like this one's pretty clean for the most part. I don't see anything really we really don't like, but we're gonna get down in there and go around a time or two like that. Just kind of get all the dirt out of there. And now that that's done, I like to tape the gap. So this has some vents down at the bottom, so we're going to use some smaller pieces just to try to kind of protect this gap area here. I'm going to tape from there to there, all the way around, and that's just going to help us keep the dirt out of the gap. Masking tape will work a little bit better. I just don't have none right now, so we're going to use this Gorilla tape for now. But hopefully you guys can kind of see what we're doing here, maybe. So there we go. So you can see there, I'm just putting some tape around the pole there to block dirt from going down in there, because we're going to have to clean this basket here, but I'll talk about that here in a minute. So back to taping this off real quick. And so I'm pretty happy with that. We got the gap taped off, and now, like I said, we're going to get our grinder and our flap disc out. But before that, I'll show you guys here. So we used the torch there, got all of our parts out of the center there. Usually it'll take the glue up a little bit better than that. I could probably go ahead and heat it up some more and just chisel that out, but I've got a flap disc grinder, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. You can see there the bottom spider landing, it came out pretty good, but we're just going to prep that a little bit. So give us a few minutes here, we'll get our grinder. Alright, now we're just going to clean this up. Oh, grinder and flap disc. So it works a lot better if you got an air compressor or a blower. You can just blow these out, but I don't have that right now. So I'm gonna get a rag, kind of wipe this thing down now that I got it where I want it. Alright, so got us a couple rags here. One of them is damp, but you don't have to do that if you don't want, but it kind of helps grab some of the dust. So take the damp one and just wipe this guy down. Alright, dry one. And this way's not going to be perfect. I'd prefer to, like I said, use air, but I don't have that out here with me right now, so we'll make do with what we got. Alright, now we got this guy halfway clean here. Go wash my hands in the house and get ready to take it inside. But you can see we cleaned this edge up, prep the basket for glue. See all the dust and stuff on our tape, that's why it's there. And we'll do some more cleaning and stuff when we get in here. Alright, so we're back in the trailer here. You can see, and that looks about pretty good. So we just got done cleaning this guy up. Just got done cleaning this guy up, and we're going to take this tape that we put in earlier out and clean it up just a little bit more. Then what I like to do is I'm going to take some more tape, basically just turn it inside out like so, and then just kind of start going through here and picking up as much of this dust and scraps and junk as we can that got away from us. And this one did pretty good. I mean, you got to get a lot out of there, but as you can see, it's picking it up. We'll just go through and do that a couple times. Make sure we get all of this dust from the basket and the glue out of here. And like I said, it's a lot easier if you use air. It'll save you some time, but I figure I just kind of show you guys how to do it without maybe everything you need. So normally we would just use compressed air for this, and my compressor's in the garage, so we'll do it the old way. I used to do it before I had a compressor, and just looking down in the gap here, double checking we ain't got no debris in there. and it looks good. So now we've got our drop in. We're gonna put it in here and see what it looks like. And so that's about where it needs to go to line up with our holes and our terminals. Looks pretty good. Okay, now the fun part. Get our handy dandy shims here. And it looks like this has a pretty good decent sized gap on it. So I'm gonna just grab a few pieces of printer paper here. A little guess. And one thing that is kind of important if you're going to use paper or index cards or anything like that, you want to watch these corners. If they fold up on you, it'll make it thicker in one spot more so than the other. So if you're going to do it this, I don't know if you call it old-fashioned way or I don't know what you call it, but if you're going to do it this way, make sure you watch your paper and make sure it's flat before you use it. And I'm going to kind of pick this up now and drop the paper in the gap. And then straighten her out. And we're still a little thin, so we're going to repeat that process again. Okay, now we found it. Take one piece out. I think that right there is what we're going to use, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I like that right there. I like that right there. So again, like I said, I like this to be just tight enough that when we pull this back up here, it's going to hold itself up. So I'm going to pull that back up there, give us some room to work. And this will kind of be the setup we're going to use before we start the glue, so I'll show you here. Got the paper shim in. Got it just tight enough to hold itself up here. And that's pretty much what I like. It'll help us be able to get these holes lined up and stuff. And we'll be able to go ahead and drop a bead of glue on both sides and drop it right in. So let's go get some glue over here and get this sucker dropped in. cut my head off there, but anyways, try to make it so you guys can see pretty much. But got some glue now. Textbook on how you take that off right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start down here at the bottom, and we're just gonna lay a nice little pretty healthy little bead of glue down here in the spider landing. Got that, and then we're gonna go around the surround here, and I like to get close to the edge here first, so I'll probably go around once, maybe twice, but I'm gonna just go right over to the edge here. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna go one more bead around this guy, just to make sure we got some good surface area. And that's common to drop some glue. I'm not a pro, like I said, so just to keep it simple, stupid, get her done, silly guy. Now we got our first glue beads laid out. Go around and double check. Everything here. Sure I like what I got. And voila, we'll put this cap on for now. Got a little glue on my hands. And now we're going to make sure we got our terminal blocks lined up here, and our holes, which I think that does it right about there. Lined up the holes on the spiders, terminals lined up. So now we're going to push it on down. And it's in there. Now I'm going to take the big clips, clamp the spider, landing here. I'm going to use 2 clips per opening. We got our spider clamped down, and now the surround. And what I like to do is just kind of feel under here, start clipping. And since they call me Clippy McGee, now, whoop-de-woo. So at this point, it's kind of fun as watching paint dry. So you can do one or two things from here. What I usually like to do if I'm building them for myself and I got a little bit of time is I won't even really use the activator. I'll just let them sit for 2 or 3 days with the clamps on them and let it cure slowly. I don't know, it seems to hold a little bit better to me. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I'm going to use activator on this one so we can give it back here tomorrow. And I don't really think one way is any really much better than the other. I use them both ways depending on the circumstances, but a lot of times if I'm building it for myself, I'll just let it sit just like this for 2 or 3 days. But what we're going to do now is let it sit for a minute. Alright guys, almost done here. We'll wait just a few more minutes. But anyway, so we're gonna go around and hit it with some activator. And you don't gotta use a lot. And that was probably too much, but and we'll let that sit for a few minutes. Alright, so we're getting ready to pull the shim. Getting ready to pull the shim here. And put the dust cap on. So what I like to do is take and scuff this up. Alright, so we got that scuffed up pretty good. I'm gonna wipe her off. Alright, before we get started here, I'm going to show you guys here something that's pretty neat. So on these cones here, it's got a, I don't know how good you guys can see it here. Let's see. We're going to pull the shim out. But there's a little indentation right there where the dust cap sits. So it's pretty easy to line the dust cap up on these guys. Pulled our shim out. Give it a few little pushes there. Make sure we don't feel no rub. Feels good. This little piece of paper got some stuff on it. Got folded a little bit, so I'm going to take it out of my shim bag. It's garbage. I'm going to roll these guys back up. Put it in my shimmy container. So what I got here is wouldn't necessarily call it dust cap glue, but it's a rubber glue. So what I like to do on the dust caps is I'll use this rubber glue, a small bead right around this first edge. And then I'm going to come in with the regular CA glue. I know a lot of people don't, or they speak against using CA glue on dust caps. I don't know, but whatever. I'm going to put a bead of CA glue. And then Try to get this on here straight, like so. Get him in his home, like so. Push him down, like so. So now he's in his home. Try to get it pretty straight there. I'm gonna take this roll of tape, sit it right on the dust cap there, and then I'm just gonna take this bottle of cleaner that I got here. It probably weighs, I don't know, 2 or 3 pounds, just to put some weight on the dust cap to hold some pressure on it, and let that sit just like that for a second. Hit it with some activator. Just like so. Put my saver on this guy. Hit him with activators real quick, one more again. Alright, now before we go ahead and put this put these terminals back together and put them on here, I like to kind of go through here and backfill on top of the spider. I don't guess you really have to do this step, but again, this is just something that I like to do. I think it helps keep them from jumping off the landing and stuff. Whether it does or not, I don't know. I mean, essentially, if you got a good first glue joint, it should be good, but I like to go through and backfill these. So that's what I'm going to do now. And it doesn't do this before you put the terminals on, so that way the terminals aren't in your way. If you do choose to do it this way, alright, so now we got that all the way around there. Let that sit for a minute. And like I said, this one ain't gonna come out that pretty, but I think this particular guy's more worried about it holding together, so I'm a little bit happier on the glue than normal on this one, but it's kind of on purpose. So we're gonna let that sit. And there you have it, folks. How to recone a subwoofer from start to finish. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Mecca official YouTube channel, and check out our website at mechacaraudio.com. Until next time, keep it loud and clear, Mecca heads.